Hey, how you guys doing, man? This is Chicken Wing Dooney from Oasis Gaming, and I want to bring to you guys a list that I have compiled. The 5 lead characters of color in video games. No tropes, no sports, no entertainers, no comic book characters. Without further ado, we're gonna get right into this. Let's go. Sheva Alomar, Resident Evil 5. So the first one on the list is Sheva Alomar from Resident Evil 5. First off, she's the first black female character in Resident Evil that actually is a part of the main storyline. She has a very, very compelling story that fits right into the Resident Evil universe. I apologize. She is from a poor community, of poor village that's set in Ethiopia. The reason why I feel Sheva Alomar is important because, you know, she's not the typical damsel in distress. This is the first time that a character that has never experienced the Resident Evil lore is kind of dragged into it. Clementine and Lee Everett, the Walking Dead Telltale series. First meet Lee Everett and Clementine in the first series of the Walking Dead game by Telltale Games. A zombie outbreak just happened, and Lee Everett comes across Clementine in a small treehouse in her family's backyard. And this begins Clementine's story over the next 4 games. There's always a stereotype in the culture of black men being not good fathers and not being there. Lee Everett takes her in, you know, orphan, and just making her understand that, hey, everything's going to be okay. I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to protect you. And I think he gains a daughter in the whole storyline as he progresses. I think it's just about being a loving person too as well. Lee Everett cares and wants to be there for someone, which makes this story so great. And that's another reason why this is another good reason for characters of color to be seen like this. Lincoln Clay of Mafia 3. As you play this protagonist, he comes back from Vietnam and everything's good. They're welcoming back home. He's been in service. And I guess some of the old mafia heads decide to come back to visit his father and say, hey, you know what? You're doing pretty well for yourself. He say, hey, I'm retired. I don't want to have nothing to do with it anymore. And just in true mafia fashion, they decide to say, okay, since you don't want to be a part of the clique, you're going to get the clique. So Clay was actually there when it happened and he got hit. They shot him in the head. But just like in all good gangster movies, and you know he's not dead. He's in a coma for a good minute, but when he wakes up, guess what time it is? Oh yeah, it's time for that sweet revenge. And so he sets out to take down the mafia. But not only does he take down the mafia, he decides to build his own mafia. His character development was just so mwah. I mean, you got revenge, you got a lost loved one. He's just a great badass character. When you play the game, you get more intel about this character. You will see that he is strong, he is willful, he wants to get the job done. That is the whole premise of him being on this list. Rookie, Alien versus Predator. Picture yourself being a Marine. You're going down to a planet that's full of xenomorphs. You got other Marines telling you that, oh, everything's gonna be fine. This is your first time, Rook. You're green. You'll get it. And you get there, and all hell is breaking loose. Xenomorphs attack, and you get knocked out by a bunch of boxes that hit you in the head. When you wake back up, you're alone. You're frightened. You're trying to figure out what's going on with your whole team, and xenomorphs are all over the place. What do? You get your gun and you get going. I was expecting to play the typical Caucasian shooter, you know, and where I'm playing the white guy. He's the hero. He's the one that saved the day. And at the end of this game, I found out that this was a character of color. I was very proud. I don't think a lot of people talked about it, but it touched my heart because I love those movies. I love those franchises. Shout outs to Danny Glover. Shout outs to Sigourney Weaver. I love you guys. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, you get love too. If you never pay attention to his arms, you will never realize that you're playing with a character of color. Anybody who can survive fighting xenomorphs and predators and live to tell about it. And not only does he do that, he does this on his own, by himself. He doesn't have help. He doesn't have anybody. It's just him. Avalon the Grand Prix. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. So Avalon actually travels with her mother to the United States in the 1700s. And as they get there, they've never seen the new land. So as they're visiting and everything, they're walking down the roads, and some slave catchers actually notice that there's a black woman, very fancy black woman with a young daughter. And they're like, wow, we can actually capture her and turn her into a slave and raise her up and sell her off for profit. And I think she was on a plantation for a few years until she bumped into a woman at a market that actually was an assassin. The woman trained her in the ways of the assassin. And the great part of this game is that you get to liberate yourself and you liberate others. She's like an assassin Harriet Tubman, which I think is pretty freaking awesome. Hey, how you doing? If you feel like I need a knife to the heart because I didn't list your favorite character or color, leave in the comments. Yes! Yeah, that does it. Hey, good job, dude. Dude. All right. So in closing, I would like to say this, that the reason why this video is made is because not only I want to shine a light on these characters and give them their shine that's due, but we're also trying to just let it be known that, you know, for Black History, this is Black History and it's Black History Month. And I commend all programmers and devs that decided to say, hey, I want this character to be Black or a person of color, because it meant something to them and it means something to us. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate Oasis Gaming for giving me the opportunity to speak on the behalf of these characters. Thank you. So if you would like to see more of our videos, you can click here, or you can click here, or if you want to see more and subscribe, you can click here.